I wanted to make this video as a complement to my resume to showcase some of the work in web application development and even some of the marketing experience that I have. So I first wanted to start off to show you that this is current, and as you can see, it's Thursday at 9:44. So let's move on over and look at this is an application I had developed for the company I currently work for, Planning Construction. And what you're looking at is something called the Personal Daily Worksheet. This is where the employees go to find out what work needs to be performed for the day. So they can look at what part of the core business process has been assigned to them for the day, and they can complete that task. And of course everyone can see what the work and at what stage all the work is at that particular time. So it kind of raises accountability a little bit. As you can see, there's a lot of different functions here, creating purchase orders and invoices, and this is one feature where I did a integration of a fax server, so you could look at faxes, and I doubt there's any faxes here. There's not. So but the faxes come in on a server, and then they come into here, and they can be assigned to a project or be assigned to a user. But what we're going to do is look at one of the applications where they build budgets for projects, and we'll pull this project up, and you'll sort of see how the concept of Ajax works. And this is what I call a one-page application, and the reason for that is if you look over here, you can see that you can enter the three modes: add, update, and delete. So obviously if they wanted to add a budget line item, then you would be in the add mode, of course, and they would pick the phase. Every construction project is broken up into phases. They would then choose a phase, add a description, the quantity, and of course it would carry out the math for them here, as you can see. So, but what I'm going to do is so you can see just the performance of Ajax. I'll highlight this, and I'm just going to start going through some of the phases here, and you'll start to see some of the budget line items pop up. And here we go. And as you can see how quickly they jump in, and the page is not being reloaded. So very quickly I'm trying to get, so here's one that looks like it has more than 6 budget line items, and then you get your navigation so you can go to the next page, and of course you can make any of the changes and do an update. And when they complete the budget, then it enters the workflow process and can be completed. And of course they can look at the budget details at any time, and then of course they can enter the delete mode or go back to add mode very quickly. As you can see, it resets the form, and it did not reload the form. That's the beauty of Ajax. So let's just take a look in the background at the source, and here is the source code. And as you can see, there is a lot of JavaScript and jQuery and CSS that make up this one-page application, and I've written every bit of this software by hand, and so I'm not utilizing software or pieces that I've copied from other places. This is all software that I have coded myself, and as you can see, there's an enormous amount of code here. So when the page first loads, it takes a moment for it to load, but once it's loaded, then it runs very quickly, as you could see. And if you look down here, there's actually very little HTML, and there's some CSS there. Most of the magic occurs in the JavaScript portion. So I'll just kind of show you. Here's the function of an Ajax function, where it calls a server-side function that then passes parameters back, and then whatever's returned from the server comes back, and I can work on those fields, or I can pass back an array or a structure, or several arrays or structures, whatever I want to pass back into JavaScript, and then I can parse through and do whatever I want with there. So that's just an example of one component of this very large system that I have developed for planning and construction. So I'll look at another project, and this is a project that I developed for myself personally for homeowners associations, and this is primarily for homeowner board members to manage a website and to manage the lots within the homeowners association. On the left, these are functions that the homeowners association would primarily deal with, and these are things on the right. As a homeowner, once you register your property, they can add a business ad, things that they have for sale, any block watch activity, yard sales, and so forth and so on. They can even go to a function called My Lot and enter a lot code once they've registered their property. As you can see down here, they can do that here. Then they have to have a valid email address, and once they load that, then they can easily see everything about their property. So that's so let's pull up here. As you can see, this page is made up of 3 panels, and over here is a logon, and the board members would then log in here, which would bring them to the back office, if you will, and allows them to maintain the association. That is, what is the name of the association and different aspects of the association, streets. They add different events, like if they want to add a note event or some kind of accounting event, the positions that are held on the board, president, vice president, secretary, and they can actually do batch emails, so they can actually go create emails, and they then can send those out in batch to all the homeowners, and it does it in batch, sends them out in increments of 25, and so they can add lots and upload attachments, which we'll talk about in just a minute, and they can actually export data as well if they wanted to bring that into a spreadsheet. So let's go to edit lots, and again I just want to show you how quickly it moves through the data. We'll pick a lot here, and you can see that I am just moving through, flying through the data, and it's going, reading the server, coming back, and populating the field without updating the page. And again, if we kind of just take a peek in the background, again you can see that there's an enormous amount of JavaScript and jQuery and CSS that I've utilized. Again, this is all code that I have wrote myself, and again, nothing that's been copied from other applications or anything. So let's close out of that and go back here, and I'll just show you this feature here, which is kind of neat. If they wanted to do an update, this is the home page here. This is the home page, and again it's made up of 3 panels. If they wanted to make a change, let's say to the home page, and the panel 1, which would of course be this top panel here, panel 1, 2, and 3, and then say load that panel, and you see how quickly it went out and retrieved the data. And just to show you how quickly this occurs, I'll take that period out, save it, tells you it's saved, boom, and if we refresh the site and we go back to the top, you can see the period is now gone. So you can see again, that's the power of Ajax. So one other thing I wanted to show you, if you go to the newsletters and minutes, you can see again it's made up of 3 panels, and here we have the newsletters, we have annual minutes, and we have the monthly minutes that are here. So these all have PDFs that's been created and uploaded, and as you can see there's a description there. So how does that happen without the homeowner board members having to create links and all that sort of thing. Well, basically they can come over here and all they have to do is create the PDF, and then they just do an upload of the document and tell it what type of document it is. In this case, we'll call it board minutes, and then they'll give a description, tell where the file's at, and they have to put their lot code in, so it sort of just validates who they are. And then you can of course put their short name in, which is the name here, and there's the description that pops up. So once they do that, then they can hit save. They can actually enter up to 3 at a time. And so let's go back to that page so you can see that that was the newsletter and minutes page, and look at panel 3 and load that. And as you can see, it has this little curly bracket here. So what happens is the system goes out and it looks at all attachments that's been classified as board minutes, and that's how it builds this table or this array. So again, the homeowner does not have to know anything about building links or anything. It does this automatically. And again, we can just take a quick look at the source code here, and as you can see, there's an awful lot of code and some HTML in there as well. So let's move on back, jump back over here, and just to show you some of the websites I'm currently working on. This is a site I'm getting ready to make some changes to here, and it's of course a WordPress site, and so I'm getting ready to do a whole lot of changes to this site. And as you can, I created what's called a restricted area, and this is an area where it basically they have documents that are stored meant just for distributors to have access to those documents. And if you jump over, you can see where I've created a Facebook page for them as well, and a YouTube page as well. And so anyway, there's the social network components to this site here. So let's here's another WordPress site I've created, and not very fancy, but it is a WordPress site nevertheless, and just has just some basic information about a product that this client sells for Wi-Fi. But anyway, so again, I know WordPress, I can develop business applications, and the next thing I'm working on is I'm learning a new concept called parallax. And what parallax does is it's a new way to build marketing websites that creates basically a three-dimensional view of a website. So here you go, and you can kind of see how, you know, things kind of come into play dynamically. It's kind of building the shoe as you go along, and this is a concept called parallax. It was invented by actually Walt Disney. And so I'm currently in the process of learning this technique to start implementing this into a couple of sites of a few friends. The last thing I wanted to show you, and it pertains to marketing, I'm jumping over and I'm in incognito mode here, and I do a lot of YouTube marketing, and I just wanted to show you that I've ranked for a keyword of Christian learning in Louisville, and we've got the #1 spot for Christian, our Whitfield Academy for Christian learning Louisville. There's about 6 or 7 keywords that are ranked that has page 1. As you can see, that's a pretty good number of results. There's 65,000. That's pretty good. We'll jump over to another one I've done, and this is Best Handyman, and we have almost 1 million results here, and we are 3rd for that term and a couple of other terms as well. And then here's one for Best Saw Blades Louisville, and this is almost 4 million results, and we have the top two spots in Google. And if I jump over to videos, we have pretty much two spots, and there's the channel as well. So I'm going to go back to Best Handyman. If I go to videos, you can see it pretty much, I have dominated all of videos. Now Google Videos is basically YouTube. Google Videos became just a search engine once Google bought YouTube. So I think that was, if we go over to Christian Learning, I'm not sure. Yes, we have the top spot and the channel there, and I think that's the only video there. So as you can see, my skills range from being able to build very robust web-based application using HTML, JavaScript, jQuery, and CSS. And I also have the ability to manage WordPress and build WordPress websites, but I also have the ability to do marketing primarily through YouTube and rank that to Google. And obviously people are more inclined to click through on a video thumbnail than they are a textual entries. So it's a lot easier to rank a video than trying to build SEO on a website. So you can direct traffic from YouTube to your website from a YouTube video. Although I do have a lot of experience also in SEO, as that changes frequently, that is kind of a challenge, is keeping up with all the animal attacks that Google likes to put out, all the updates they like to put out. I also use YouTube Hangouts, which basically allows you to do web conferencing through YouTube, and also using Wirecast, which is a really great product that allows you to do broadcasting, and then that can be posted directly to YouTube, so people can actually watch a live broadcast using Wirecast and watch it on YouTube. So that's kind of just I think a pretty good overview of just the reach of my skill sets. And I'm sorry this has run a little long, and I do appreciate you watching the video. If you'd like to see more of some of my marketing skills, there'll be a link to another video that goes into a little bit more depth about that. So again, thank you for watching my video.